from underatexassky.com, and today I'm coming to you with another wreath tutorial. I've really appreciated all the comments that I've gotten every time I put a video out. My subscribers, you guys are great, and you have offered me so much encouragement. And today I just, as usual, I'm going to show you something that's easy to do so it can add a little bit of beauty to your life. As most of you, many of you know that we live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and the massacre just happened of those police officers, and it's a very troubling time for us right now, not just in this area but everywhere. And so I believe that in addition to us trying to be good to each other and love each other, I think it's really nice to be able to put beautiful things around us. That always seems to help. It helps me. I love to be surrounded by beautiful things, and beautiful things doesn't mean expensive things. It just means things that are lovely to you, and you can create beautiful things. This wreath is an example of that. It's an easy wreath to make, like I said. It's a grapevine wreath. And this is kind of a large grapevine wreath. I think it's about 24 inches. I've just got a huge supply of these. I've got a stack of them, so I'm not 100% sure of the size, but I do believe it's about 24 inches. And I'm using hydrangeas. I love to use hydrangeas in wreaths, especially in grapevine wreaths. They're big, they're beautiful, they take up a lot of space, and so I love that. So I'm using some hydrangeas that I bought at Hobby Lobby, and I bought them on sale, of course. I believe they were probably 50% off. And so I'm going to be using them. I've already done some prep work, but this is a wreath that you can make in under an hour. I really believe that you can. Just have your prep work together. What I've got is the grapevine wreath. I've got some hydrangeas. I made a bow already with the trusty Bodabra, and I will show you the link to a Bodabra tutorial that I've done. Very simple 4-loop bow, no big deal. I'm going to make this a monogram wreath. Those are so popular. So I've got a letter here. It's not the letter to my monogram, but I didn't have mine in my supply, so I went ahead and I'm going with this. And and then I've got hot glue. You're going to need some hot glue. I'm using the glue pot. I know that I've talked to you about this before, and you can see that it's sitting on a ceramic tile because this glue pot is hot as blue blazes. You don't want to touch it, and you don't want to set it on anything that's not protected, because it will melt whatever is under it. If you could see my mat here, the first day I used this, I just set it on that mat. That mat is all bubbled up, and you can't see it because it's under the ceramic tile that I have, but I encourage you to do that. I've got some wire cutters. You'll need your wire cutters to cut off your hydrangeas from the stem. And if you can see, there is a little mark here that's a real good place to cut. These are very thick stems, and I'll show you. And I've got a good pair of wire cutters, but to cut it, I go right into that, and I kind of twist around so I can break that out. And then normally you can just give it a squeeze, and whatever you're cutting is going to cut right off, but not with these. It's really thick. So I kind of just bend it back and forth. Boom. And it comes off. And you want this little stem, because that's what we're going to use to cram this down inside of our grapevine wreath with the glue on it. So let's get started right away. We need to go ahead and get down to business. When you have your grapevine wreath, these are not perfectly circles. Or perfectly circled. They can be oblong. This one's got it's a little bit oblong. And you want to just kind of eyeball it before you start, so you can see exactly how you want your flowers to go. And when I first started, I kind of set everything up so I could see how it was going to look. I just eyeballed everything. And I'm only doing one side of hydrangeas. The other side's going to have my monogram and the bow. And so I think I'm going to start right here. Whoa, almost lost that flower. And I'm going to dip it in the glue, and then I'm just going to cram it in here. You see how that's going to go. So I just come over to my glue pot. And you know, I always have zip ties also. I may end up using some zip ties on this also, because you really, you want your flowers to be really secure on your wreath. But I've got that in there. It's sticking up just a little bit. I'm going to press it down in a little bit more. You kind of have to work it in there. And then we're going to come to the next one again, same thing. And I'm going to come in and I'm going to stick it in. Okay. You see this is going really fast now. You might be able to hear my dogs barking. I hope you don't get offended by that. We have a house full of dogs and they bark at everything that they see and some things that they don't see. Okay, working that in. And so far you can see how this is looking. It's already beautiful. These are just gorgeous. What's great about the hydrangeas is they're big. They cover a lot of ground. And so you can get a lot of mileage out of them and not have to use a bunch of them because they are kind of expensive. I probably paid $3.50 or $4 a piece for these. I think they were $6.99 at regular price. And like I said, I don't really recall but exactly how much off I got, but it had to be at least 50% because I don't buy unless something is at least 50% off. Maybe 40% if I've got the Hobby Lobby coupon. But I don't like paying full price for anything. Matter of fact, I kind of refuse to pay full price for anything when you can get things at a bargain. And I'm doing this whole thing kind of in real time. I know usually I will cut away and I'll do all of the building of the wreath or whatever away from y'all so I don't feel like I'm boring y'all. Look at how pretty that is. Can you get a shot of that? That is gorgeous. That is already gorgeous like that. And then you kind of have to decide, okay, now I've got a decision. I can put some leaves in here, which I probably will do. I could add another hydrangea if I wanted to, but I almost think that's really kind of overkill because I am going to have some things over here. So if I add in some leaves, and again, I'm just going over to the pot, the glue pot, and throwing some glue in here on them and adding some greenery, just a little bit of filler, which always looks really pretty. It just kind of completes the look. You don't have to have it, but it does. I mean, flowers have leaves, and so it kind of completes the look for what we're doing here. Sticking this in. And then you can see I just glued my fingers together. You have to be careful of that because boy, that glue, it gets blazing hot. The thing I like about the glue pot though is that I'm using it now, and then when I turn the pot off, it's all going to harden. Those glue chips harden back up. And boy, I did a really good number on that. I got it on my nails and everything. Okay. So now when it comes to that's a nice suggestion, Mean Man, but I'm not going to use that. The Mean Man's trying to add some things to the wreath that, while nice, we're not really going to use them. Attaching anything, he's giving me a thumbs down. He likes to participate in more than just the camera sometimes. What I had, actually he did help me out with this. He drilled a tiny hole and the opposite sides of this letter. Once I determined where I wanted it to be, I kind of laid it out here. And I know it's difficult to see, but this is always the challenge. These monogram letters, they don't generally come with a hanger on the back of them, so you kind of have to get creative with what you're going to do. Another supply that I did not mention was floral wire, which I have right here. And I just buy mine on a spool because I use so much of it. And it's tiny. It's a tiny wire that's just green. And that's, you know, another thing, you want to be inconspicuous when you are adding however you're attaching your things. This just pulls, you know what, I pulled that from the wrong end. It pulls out from the middle. I'm just going to pull out a length of it, and it's got a little handy dandy cutter on here, and it'll cut it off. And then I'm going to thread this through, and I had him drill my hole kind of close to the edge so you won't be able to see it. And it's floral wire, so it comes in green because usually it's attached to floral stems or whatever, and floral stems are green. It really is not very noticeable, and so I have to kind of determine where I want it to go. I think there's a big fat stem that's running through here that I'm going to attach it to. So I have some, you know, some good, it's got a good strong place to attach it. And then I'm just going to twist it on here. And my leaf is going to help hide this. So I've got it twisted on. Then I'm just going to tuck the other portions of the floral wire into the grapevine so you won't be able to see it. And you won't be, because I'm going to pull. I may even add another leaf in here. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to. And these leaves just pop off. They've got a little stem that just is meant to come off. I think if I put that just barely over there, yeah, it'll work. Stick that in there. There we go. It's going to cover that up. Then you want to make sure that it's straight, which it is. You know what? I wish it's going to be okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut another little. It doesn't have to be a long length of wire to get it on there. It just takes very little. Now see, this is a little bit trickier because I don't have a leaf down here, but I'm going to have a bow. So we're going to see how we can make that bow work. I'm going to go ahead and twist that a little bit. I'm going to come in. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just treating this like a twist tie and twisting it in. Okay, I'm going to twist that together. And even still, I mean, you can, it's there, but it's hardly noticeable. And then I went ahead, like I said, ahead of time, I made this 2-loop bow with my bow dabber. Oh, and I haven't finished it. You see the tails are not right. We're going to do our chevron of our tail where we fold it over. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut from the fold side down at an angle. So it's going to give that pretty little chevron at the end. And you want that. You can cut it at an angle if you'd like also. I mean, there's no law that says you have to have the chevron edge, but I just think it looks pretty. And then kind of determine how we want the bow to go. We want it up high. So I'm thinking here, and I really don't. I think I want it down lower. And then I've got, the cool thing about the bow dabber is you have the bow wire that holds the bow together, and you can just use that to attach your bow. I'm just tying it on there in a double knot. I'm going to trim that excess off. And there, look, I don't know how long have we been filming?
14 minutes.
14 minutes.
And 49 seconds.
Did this wreath in under 15 minutes. I think it's pretty cute. I actually kind of love how it looks, as a matter of fact. I just used the hydrangeas. I used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hydrangeas, some leaves. I used the Monogram, and I painted this. I know it doesn't look just super stellar, but I did paint it. You can buy, though, these monograms now. They're everywhere. You can buy them finished, where they are in different colors and different finishes. They're wonderful. Of course, you can absolutely paint them yourselves. I have the video on how to do the dry brush technique. I could have gone over this with dry brush. It would have looked fantastic. You can certainly do that. The bow is just some burlap ribbon. You can actually find the bow tutorial at the link that I'm showing right now. And you can make this. This is so super easy. So I hope that you give it a try. And I really encourage you to go to my blog, underatexassky.com. I have really been trying so hard to blog something at least every couple of days. There are things that you are never going to see if you only come to my channel here, but subscribe to my underatexassky.com blog, and every Monday I send out a newsletter, and it has usually 3 DIYs or recipes or something that I've done that week. Also on my blog site, I'm starting to do some product reviews. I don't know about you, but I love reading product reviews on things that I want to buy. I like to know how they really work. And those are all very honest opinions. Like I said, there's more DIY projects. Just today, I'm going downstairs when we're done here. I'm redoing our little patio area. There's going to be some before and afters there. I think it's worth checking out because it's some pretty good ideas. Most of all, I just want you to add some beauty to your life. Do something that makes you feel good. And I can tell you this, there's nothing that's going to make you feel better than if you do something for somebody else. Maybe make a beautiful wreath like this and gift it to somebody. You will make their day. I hope that you guys are doing well and that, that your life is blessed and happy. Create some beauty in your life, and be sure and join me at underatexassky.com. Thanks so much. Blessings.